Hi. I'm actually so excited that Sean mentioned this last test with Log Me In, because it is exactly what I'm going to be talking about today, that button testing. Love that. Okay, so hi, everyone. Okay. Every new client I work with, or students, I ask them one specific question, and that is, why do people buy from you? Very, very simple question. And usually I get a lot of answers like this. So it's, we have the best features, we have an amazing product, it only costs X, Y, and Z, and we have the best team. Everything to do with the product, the business, right? The thing is that if you really think about it, there are millions of competitors out there. Now, it doesn't have to be a direct competitor. It doesn't have to be someone who is your direct competitor. It could be anyone who's trying to grab your prospect's attention. And the thing is that some of these businesses have better products, and some of them have better prices. And sometimes they're even giving things away for free, right? So I'm not really sure that that is the reason that people are buying from us. And I think that if that was the case, if people were really buying from us because of the features and the pricing, then the biggest companies in the world would have landing pages like this, right? Hopefully Coca-Cola never sees this or sues me, but they'd have them, right? We're the #1 soft drink in the world since 1886, and we only have this amount of calories, and we only cost whatever. But this isn't what they market. You will never see a landing page like this by Coca-Cola. And why is this? Well, it's quite simple, actually. Most businesses seem to think that this is how people make decisions. So if you need to go out and buy something, B2B, B2C, whatever it is, you go through a very special thought process. You think about the pros and the cons, and does it make sense or doesn't it, and should I buy it, and all these calculations, and then you reach a rational decision. Makes complete sense. Well, not exactly. The really successful businesses know that this isn't how people make decisions. This is. Everything we buy in life has an emotional reason behind it. In fact, we are completely irrational beings. And people hate this when I say it, so I love to give you an example about myself. My biggest fear in life is flying. I hate planes. It's really stupid because I fly all over the world. And ever since I was a little girl, I had to hold someone's hand, even if I don't know them. I just grab onto them because I really am scared. But even though this is my biggest scare in the world, I did actually find myself doing this around 7 years ago. Now, I would really, really love to say that I did this because I'm an adrenaline junkie, and I've always wanted to jump out of a plane. I confess, I did this for a guy. Seriously, I wanted to impress him. I wanted him to think that I was this cool, amazing girl. And that is the thing about buying. When you buy something, you're not buying a product. You're buying a better version of yourself. Whether if it's because you want to feel loved, or you want to feel more part of a community, or maybe you want to feel successful, or you just want to have a higher self-esteem. No matter what you're selling, what people really care about isn't the what, it's the why. And this is probably the biggest reason people buy from you. They don't care what the product is or what the features are at first. What they care about is, do you get them? Are you going to solve their specific pain? And then, okay, they'll get into, wait, how much does this cost? And what features do these guys have? And everything else. And that's why when you look at the biggest companies in the world, they don't talk about their product. They don't talk about the Coca-Cola. They don't show you the product. They talk about the raw emotion, what you're going to feel once you become a customer. The problem with all this, which is lovely and great, is that most businesses in the world treat their customers like data. So if I ask you today, who is your customer, most of the people here would tell me, well, they're female, they're 25 to 32, they live in this geographical location, they use these browsers, these devices, and a great behavioral segment of who their customer is. And because this is how businesses view their customer, that's why we see websites like this. So unify sales and marketing, or email marketing automation, and premium quality platform for webinars. So this is all about the product. There is nothing on these websites that is about the customer. And almost everyone is doing the same. Because we forget that there are people behind those screens. People with challenges. Every single person that comes to your website is facing a challenge and they're looking for a solution. Whether if it's to find something to wear for a date, or if it's to solve a communicational problem in your business, they have a problem and they're trying to figure out if you're the solution for them. Now, if you think about conversion optimization as a whole, there's generally 3 steps. Now, obviously, there's a ton more steps, but just like the simple way of looking at it. So you find a leak in the funnel, there's a problem, right, that needs fixing. Then you come up with a new variation to fix this problem, and you test it. Fantastic. Only question is, how do you know what changes to make that will actually solve this problem? Right? How are you supposed to somehow come up with a magical solution? Right. You know what? I know. Let's make the button bigger. So then you have this amazing test, right? You test a headline or you test a button, and you get an amazing result. Nothing. Or maybe you see a great increase of 25, 100, or 300% increase, and then you write a blog post about that one hack that changed everything. The only problem with these kind of tests is that they teach you nothing, and you can't scale them. Now, conversion optimization isn't about changing elements on your page. Conversion optimization is about solving your customers' problems. If you solve their problems, you will see more conversions. And in order to solve their problems, you need to understand how they think. In fact, you need to understand how they make decisions. Because the root of every conversion in life is our decision-making process. So if you want to increase your conversions, or 10 times your conversions, or double your conversions, or whatever it is, you need to understand your customer internally. And that's what I'm going to actually be talking to you about today, which is the emotional targeting methodology. It's a method that I've developed over the years, and I keep optimizing it all the time. And the idea here is to really understand the emotional drivers of your customers. Why are they buying from you? What are their hesitations? What are their concerns? How can you solve their problems in the page to see those amazing results you want? Now, this method is not just about, turning more visitors into customers. It's about increasing retention. And probably even more importantly, it's about driving knowledge in your entire company and showing them how to convert your customer. And this means that you will impact not just the marketing team, but the sales team and the retention team and the product team and even the guys that ship your product out. Because if you can understand the emotional drivers of your customers, everything in your company will change and everything will drive growth. Okay, so this is going to be a mini workshop, guys, and we're going to start with the 4 core questions every single one of you should know how to answer. And it's okay if you don't know how to answer them right now, but I want you to be able to go back tomorrow to your office or on Thursday and be able to answer these questions. So the question number 1 is, what pain does my customer feel before finding a solution? Number 2, what are the emotional triggers that drive her decision-making? What are her hesitations and concerns? And what does she want to feel after finding a solution? Now, guys, if you can answer these questions, you will know exactly what copy to show on your page, what images, what colors, everything. It's just understanding that. And I'm going to show you how to understand these using a very simple framework. And I have quite a few frameworks. This is one of the simplest ones. I'll give you a link at the end to download it. But it starts with basically a case study. Okay? So I'm going to walk you through it and show you how I do it. Now, this is a past client of ours that helps you create beautiful infographics and presentations. Now, if you think about it, there are amazing products out there today for free. There is Google that has a great product. There's PowerPoint. But this is a paid company that you pay for to create presentations, infographics. Now, if you look at this website, you'll notice that it's making the mistakes that many other companies are making. So the headline is about the product, easy-to-use infographic creator. Then we have 6 bullet points about how amazing this product is. And then we have the hero image, which is, this is how you should use the product. Right? It's a drag and drop video. Now, there is nothing in here about the customer. So the first stage of our framework is to identify the stage of awareness of your customer. Here's a newsflash. Not everyone who comes to your website is in the same stage of awareness. People are going through different things. And if you can identify the stage of awareness, it's easier for you to know what to say in your email, on your landing page, or anything you create, even in your ad. So we started by identifying the stage of awareness. Now, there are 5 stages of awareness. The first stage is unaware. Unaware prospects are people that have no idea they're experiencing the pain. This happens a lot with new companies, startups that are creating a product that they're sure that everyone needs, but no one has any idea that they're even experiencing a problem that needs a solution. So, for example, you have a remote team, and you're trying to communicate with them, but it's very groggy, and there's a lot of problems with that. Now, you have this pain, but you're not really aware of it. That's it, right? Now, in this stage, you don't talk about yourself. You don't talk about how amazing your product is or how amazing your solution is. You agitate the pain. You make them feel that pain of what they're experiencing. Next, we have pain aware. Now, these are people that are aware they have a pain, but aren't actually aware that there's solutions out there. So they're not actively doing anything. And in this stage, you do the same. You agitate the pain, you remind them that they're feeling this pain, and you start telling them, by the way, there are solutions out there that can help you. Now, you send them to blog posts, you put them on a drip campaign. Still, you're not talking about yourself or your amazing features or how much it costs. You're giving them information that helps them understand and research their problem. This brings us to people who are solution-aware. Now, solution-aware people are basically people who have started researching this problem. Now, I'm looking at stuff, I understand that there's a solution, I might even be evaluating different products, but I have no idea what solution is the right solution for me. Now, this is the stage where you talk about the different options out there, right? What could you do to solve this problem? Not you, them, what they could do. They could try these and these tips, or they could hire a consultant, or maybe they could try these tools. Again, it's not about how you're amazing, it's about helping them find the solution or understand what solution would be right for them. And then we have product-aware people. Now, product-aware people are people who know of you, have evaluated you, and they're just not convinced entirely that you're the right one for them. This is actually the first time you start talking about yourself and you tell them, we have these features, we have these pricings, this is why this is so good for you. And again, not about you, about them and why your solution is right for them. And then we have the most aware stage, which is the stage where everyone wants to be. I'm ready to buy, show me that call to action button and tell me what to do. Now, how do you identify the stages of awareness? So number 1, you can use keyword research, okay? Now, you can do this on page and off page. You can go into Google Analytics and look at the keywords that people are using to search on your website. Or you can go into Google Search Console and see what keywords people are using to come to your website. If people are using your brand, then they're probably product aware. If people are writing down the specific pain that they're using, then they're probably solution aware, and they're trying to figure out what is the right thing for them. The other way to do this is to look at your landing pages. Now, the landing pages show you what stage of awareness people are. If someone lands on your blog, they are probably solution aware. If someone lands on your pricing page, they're probably product aware. This helps you understand where people are and then what content to use for them. Now, if we look at the case study, we know that this is our client, and we did our research and found out that most people were solution aware. So people knew that there are solutions out there for their problem, and they were actively looking for a product they can use to create these presentations or infographics. So we move on to the second stage. And the second stage is identifying the main concerns and hesitations of customers. What are their problems? What are they worried about? Why are they on their page? How can we help them? Now, most companies make assumptions about their prospects. They think they know exactly what their customer needs. And to me, this is very similar to basically sitting down and working for months on months and planning this beautiful product that makes complete sense that you know everyone will want, only to find out that your customer is not interested in that product at all because you didn't ask them. Okay? So, customer interviews. Show of hands, how many of you have done a customer interview in the past 3 months? Awesome, okay. So there's about 30 or 40 people who have lifted their hands in a room with 1,600 people in them. Customer interviews are so important. And I'm gonna share my favorite questions. So, what problem does the product solve for you? What made you search for this solution? When you weren't using this specific solution, how did you solve this problem? If you could have any superpower in the world, what would it be? Each one of these questions has been immensely helpful for me to discover those emotional triggers. And they're framed in a very specific way in order to understand the customers better. I'm not asking them, hey, why did you buy from us? I'm trying to understand the underlying emotion there. Now, the only problem is that when you ask people questions, we think that we're rational. So if I ask you, hey, why did you sign up? You probably will give me a list of features and reasons, rational reasons to signing up. So we have a really cool method called the 5 whys. And it goes really simple. You ask a question, and you just follow up with, hey, why? So let me show you an example. What persuaded you to sign up? And people said, well, you had the most features, which is what we were expecting. And I said, great. Why do you need more features? And they said, I needed something different than PowerPoint or Google Slides. And to me, that was really weird because they're free and they've got really cool stuff. Why would you need something different than Keynote or PowerPoint? And they said, I wanted to create something memorable and different. Now, this is where we're getting somewhere. Something is interesting, something's different. Why do you need to create something different? Why do you need to be memorable? And their answer was, I want to stand out, to be appreciated by my peers and managers. Bingo. These are the emotional drivers that make people buy this product. It's not because there's more features, it's not because of the pricing, it's because there's a sea of marketers out there. They're competing with their peers, with their team, and they want to create something that everyone will love and remember and say, wow, that Talia really knows what she's talking about. That is such a great presentation. And these are the underlying emotions. Now, we did this with many different questions, and we continued to kind of go in and in to understand that underlying emotion. And we found 3 things that are the main concerns and drivers of our customers. Number 1 is that they wanted to stand out. Number 2 is that they wanted to be appreciated by their peers and their managers. And the third thing that we found is that they were really worried about their design skills. They don't really have design skills, they're marketers. Can they really use this product and not get stuck midway? Okay, so now we have to figure out, so what do we want to say to these people? This is the 3rd stage. What do we want to say to people in order to tell them that they don't need to worry about this? So before you go down and you kind of start writing your copy or your strategy, there's 2 other things I want you to do. One is team interviews. I want you to speak to every single person who has a connection to your customers. This can be product, this could be the email marketing team, sales team, retention team, anyone. You want to understand how they see the product, what they are getting from the customers, what people are telling them. And here are my favorite questions. What pain do we solve for the customer in your eyes? What persuades customers to take an action? Why do people buy our solution in your opinion? What could we do better? And what are the most common complaints that we get? These are the 5 core questions. Now I have sometimes 60 or 70 or 100 questions that I like to ask. But these are the core questions that I ask in order to get into my team's mind and also to see the difference between what the customers are saying and what the team is saying. This is crucial. Next, I want you to do something really simple that you could literally do right now. Please don't, but you could do right now. And that is Analyze competitor websites. Now, when I say do a competitor research, I do not mean go to your competitor and copy what they're doing. That is a big no. What I want you to do is go to their website and look at the reviews and the testimonials that they're getting. These people that are leaving the reviews on their websites are people that should be buying from you, and they're buying from your competitor. What are they saying? What annoys them? What's pissing them off? What are they happy about? What makes them light up? If you understand these things, you know what copy to use. You know what social proof to use. Because if the same complaint keeps coming up, you can say, I have a client that had this problem too. We solved it for them. Let's go and ask them how they feel now and put that on the homepage. So I took a few screenshots from Amazon. But this is essentially what I do. I go onto the competitor's website, I go onto Amazon, I go onto review pages, onto Yelp, and I try and figure out what are the reviews that people are getting. And I use that in the copy, in the social proof, and everything that we do. So if we want to say, okay, what do we want to say to the customer now that we know all this? Well, the strategy is going to be, hey, you're a great marketer. It's your time to shine. We're going to help you do this. So it's just about empowering the customer. And that is our next stage. It's, okay, just because we know what we want to say, that doesn't mean we know how we're going to say it. So we need to decide what are the best ways to say this, to actually make people feel this. So number one, we're going to empower the customer. Then we're going to remove technical concerns, because remember, people are worried about the design. And third, we're going to show the outcome. We're going to empower them and show them what amazing things they can create. Now, here's the thing about emotional targeting. Once you know what people are feeling right now and what they want to feel, it's so much easier to decide what to put on the website. So over on the left, you have the current feeling. People are feeling unappreciated, they're frustrated, they're exhausted. What do they want to feel? They want to feel smart. They want to feel appreciated. They want to be admired by the people around them. Now all I have to do is choose the colors that I want, the copy, the elements, and the visuals. And everything works with this framework, because color psychology, because of cognitive biases, you look at the emotions and you simply communicate them in everything that you do, because people read. It's not that people don't read, you're not giving them a reason to. So the copy matters, and the fonts matter, and the colors matter, and everything around it matters. So if we look at our case study, we've got these guys, and this is the variation that we created. Now, this is a very different variation than the original one, right? Because we're not testing buttons and we're not testing headlines. We are trying to solve problems. So instead of the infographic creator, it now says, make impressive infographics. This is empowering the customer. And don't worry, you can do this in less than 10 minutes. And here's the outcome of what you could create. You could create something beautiful and amazing. Now, here's the interesting thing about the results. We saw a 24% increase in signups, which to me is great, but as Sean mentioned before, this isn't what is the most important thing. The most important thing is to see that people are actually using the product, that they're coming up, that they become lifetime customers. And that's when we saw 76% increase in creation of presentations and infographics. People understood, it resonated with them. They understood what it meant for them, that this is the company that's going to solve these underlying emotions to them, and they were creating more presentations. They were using the product. I'll show you another example quickly. We have an e-commerce site that sells prom dresses. And interestingly enough, you'll look at the page and you'll notice that there are many different things in the whole experience. So there's a ton of text everywhere. There's all sorts of calls to action and colors and things that don't add up. And essentially what we did is we did our research, and we found out that there are two target audiences. There are the ladies that are searching for a beautiful prom dress that they want to wear. And there are also the mothers or the fathers that have to pay for these things. And these people need to feel trust. And the girls need to feel that they are coming to the best event in their life, right? They're going to look amazing. So this is the variation that we created. And there are many changes here. Right? We used color psychology. We used text and copy to empower the customer. Be the queen of the night. We showed an image that is a relatable image of this is what you could look like. This is who you could be. We changed the visuals and the images of the product. This is an entire new concept of what the experience should look like. And we saw an 87% increase in purchases and a 117% increase in revenue. Now, this is the thing about emotion. It's not just about that one-time sale. It's not just about that download or the registration. It's when you use emotion correctly, when you target your customers and try to solve their problems, you actually create lifetime customers. And that's probably why today I have over 800 jumps. And I am a skydiver, and I compete all over the world. Side note, I never dated that guy, and he married someone else. But this is me today, because skydiving now makes me feel so amazing, and it turns me into that better version of myself. And if there's anything that you take from me today, I really want it to be that you need to stop talking about your own goal and start asking yourself, what is my customer's goal? And the reason for that is because only when your customers achieve their goals will you achieve your own. So I want to thank you very much, guys, for everything. Thank you.